This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker McCormick, and her co-host, Michael Van Tull, powered by the McCormick Report, Detroit's longest-running online community newsletter since 2008.
Welcome. I'm so excited. This is our new podcast. It's called Chew on This Detroit. And I am Monique Baker McCormick. I am a Wayne County Commissioner. I represent the community in which I was born in Northwest Detroit, but I also represent Redford Township. I'm a veteran of the United States Army and a true believer in our city. And so I decided to start this podcast along with my co-host here today, Michael Van Tull, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a little bit. But I wanted to tell you that why I started this is because it's powered by the McCormick Report. The McCormick Report is an online community newsletter that I started in 2008. And I started it because when I first ran for Wayne County Commission, the candidate that I ran against, he was a career politician, part of the machine. And because he was a part of the machine, he believed that he didn't have to live in the city like all of us had to or have to as elected officials, because it's important for elected officials to understand what the people are going through. And so there's a requirement by law that says you have to live in the city. So I challenged him every election, and I wanted to make sure that the community knew who he was, as well as what was going on, the truth about Detroit at the time. And you know, at the time, in 2008, it was a much different city. The lights were literally out, and people were having very difficult times. And if you're not of the people or living amongst the people, then you don't really know our concerns. So the McCormick Report was about speaking truth to power. And that's what we're going to do on this show, Chew on This. We're also going to talk about the quality of life issues in Detroit, and really just have real talk, real conversation with real people. We'll have guests on every week or every other week. And it's exciting because we're going to continue to uplift the community like the McCormick Report does. Yes, we're going to keep doing that. So I want to introduce you to my friend, my co-host. Also, he's worked on various campaigns with me, Michael Van Tull, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about himself.
Thank you so much, Monique. It's a pleasure, and I'm honored to be a co-host with you here on Chew on This Detroit, and I'm excited about it. You know, yes, I've been on the radio for about 25 years. I started out with my friend, the late, great missionary Hattie Humphrey,
Yes.
and then also been doing some podcasting also, and then some of you may have seen me perform poetry and jazz, so I've been doing that for quite a while. I enjoy writing and performing.
Yes. And you know, when I first met Mike years and years ago, he actually volunteered for my campaign, and we would do a lot of the churches, and that's how I met missionary Hattie Humphrey. She was just such an inspirational person, and just a queen, you know.
Very powerful.
Yes.
In her own right. Yes.
Yes.
And
yep.
And you know, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to talk to a lot of people, all in different issues we're going to cover. We've got people on the show for today too.
Yes, and I think you're going to talk about our first guest.
Yep.
We actually have two guests today.
Gloria Ross, and she's going to be hosting a segment called Nibble on Health, and she's going to be talking about the fact that what we eat and drink and our lifestyle has a direct impact on our health and how we can fight disease and illness. So that's going to be interesting, that conversation. So I'm looking forward to talking to Gloria Ross.
Yes, and actually she'll be a regular occurring guest
Yes.
because we want, again, to empower you with information and uplift our community. And we think health is so vitally important.
Yes.
And, you know, our second guest is, he's a great guy, strategist, community activist, Ernest Johnson of the Community Coalition. He's worked for many elected officials, the mayor of the city of Detroit. Mr. Don Barton was instrumental in working with him as well and empowering us to have a Black-owned casino in Detroit. So I'm really excited about our two guests today. I'm really excited about the future of Chew on This. I think we're going to do big things, and we want you to come along with us. We'll air a new segment every Thursday at 7 o'clock, so look for us. And in addition, we're going to have a live launch party, and we want to invite you. So tune in. Every week we'll be announcing the date of that launch or the official launch, and I hope that you can come out and join us.
Yes, and tell your friends, tell your neighbors to tune in to Chew on This Detroit, and you can find us on all the major podcast networks or wherever you listen to your podcast now. All of them. We're going to be on all the...
That's right. That's right. So stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come right back with our two guests. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Hey. Yeah.
All right. Well, now it's time for one of our most important segments, A Nibble on Health with Gloria Ross. Gloria, welcome to Chew on This.
Hello. How are you?
Great.
Hey, good to see you.
Well,
I'm excited
Yes.
about Nibble on Health. That sounds like it's healthy.
Yep, and necessary too. But I just want to know a little bit more, Gloria. One thing is, so what's your background? Since you're going to be telling us about how to live a healthier life, what's your background in this health arena?
Okay. I started off many years ago being interested in prevention. I had a daughter who was basically addicted to sugar, and that led me on my healthcare journey.
So you've been a lifelong advocate for healthy living, proper diets, and things like that. What's your professional background?
Professional background as far as the health, I've had many different jobs, careers in the corporate sector, government, but my passion was health, trying to help people stay well and healthy.
And I see you were a certified colon hydrotherapist for a number of years. You've had your own business for 15 years or so?
Yes. I was a colon hydrotherapist in Seattle for 15 years. I left Detroit. I opened up a business there, and I saw many hundreds of clients that were interested in changing their lifestyles.
And did you find that a healthy diet was one of the common themes through it all? Eating healthy, something as simple as drinking water. How important is water
Oh my
in the
goodness.
diet?
Oh my goodness. Water is so important. And good, clean water can actually add minutes to your life.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the hydration that it
Yeah,
does.
I have to force myself to, make sure that I'm drinking and staying hydrated throughout the day.
Same.
And over the years, I've gotten better. So that's great to know that as we get older, that we're focused more on our health, and drinking more water.
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you
because
said.
they have so many, sugary drinks and, colorful and,
Yes.
soda pop.
And additives.
Yeah, and if
I
you
mean-
have to choose between that and water, most people choose the colorful, sugary drinks.
Right.
But you're saying that that's really
Oh,
damaging if that's all you do.
Yes.
Mm.
And the reason that was really comical, because when I moved back here, I went into the neighborhood grocery store.
Because you were born and raised, or at least raised here.
Yes.
Went to high school.
Yes.
So basically a lifelong Detroiter.
Right.
Yes.
But when I left here, you could buy a 12-ounce bottle of pop. And I walked into the store and I couldn't find one 12-ounce bottle of pop. It was all liters. It's like,
yeah,
what?
1 and 2 liters.
What's going on here?
Yeah, and even the fast food places now, a medium is the smallest you can get now. A medium pop
Right.
Coke is about the smallest you can get.
Right.
I don't want a medium. I want a small.
Yes. And a small is a large.
And a small burger and some fries.
Yes.
But that's not even a good diet.
Right.
No.
The
No.
portions of everything is just so much
Yes.
larger now.
Yes.
So what are some good foods, Gloria?
Living foods. All you have to do is think of anything that's living. I mean, besides, animal.
Mhm.
Animals are living, but they're dead when
You're
they.
talking about plants.
Yeah.
Plant-based.
Right.
Plant foods.
Yes, plants, anything green. And one of the things that I found with my clients, I had a client to come to me, and she was diagnosed with, they were doing tests, but they thought it was MS, multiple sclerosis.
Uh-huh.
And in her diet, I asked her, what does she drink? She got up in the morning drinking Coke. She had Coke in the trunk of her car. And so her symptoms were so bad, she decided that she needed to do something. And part of that was changing her diet. So over a course of 8 weeks, coming to me, changing her diet, starting to drink water, stopping the Coke, her symptoms went away. So it was basically the sugar and the caramelized, the coloring that they put in Coke was damaging her nervous system. And once she stopped drinking the Coke and started drinking water, her symptoms were eliminated.
So it's as simple as that. Just
It was just as
It is a
simple.
lifestyle
Yes.
change. Just
Yes.
changing the way what you eat, what you drink. That can. So there's a direct link with chronic illness
And
what
the
you.
foods
Yes.
you're
Yes.
eating. Yeah.
That's
And
it.
I believe that
Yeah.
because I changed my diet, and if I go back to things that I used to eat,
Mhm.
I can literally feel
Yes.
the difference in my energy level.
Oh, yes. And everyone would do that, but they're not willing to give their body a chance. I have this story about this family that came to see me. Their daughter was getting ready to graduate, and she was trying to get her into her prom dress,
Mhm.
and she wanted to lose some weight. However, I said, well, you should do this as a family. And so the husband did not want to stop eating his fried chicken.
Mhm.
That was one of the things that I said to them, you need to give up the fried foods and the soda pop. But the husband could not give up the fried chicken. So it's just a habit. It's having your taste buds have been distorted over the years because, you've just have been eating the wrong foods. But if you detox and you start eating healthier, just, you can start off a nibble at a time, as
That's the segment it's called.
Right,
Nibble
right,
a bit.
yes, nibble on something healthy every day, as much as possible. Have some carrots instead of crackers or
chips,
or
potato chips.
or potato chips,
barbecue chips.
Yes, or have some. Probably, have you heard of kale chips?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have apple chips and all that kind of stuff too.
Yes.
I've heard of it. But it's hard for a lot of people to make that change though. What would you suggest?
Or nuts.
Our youth council just sponsored, the Wayne County Commission Youth Council sponsored a resolution that talked to food deserts and food insecurities. And so we know that in Detroit, we have issues with fresh food, fresh
meats.
Exactly.
Right.
So, so what do you suggest we do? And I know you're going to talk about what you brought up to me is dialysis centers, the connection to how we eat and all of the dialysis centers, which I didn't even realize until you...
They're all over the place now. What's going on with that? What's up with that?
All right. Well, let me answer the first question you asked about, what can you do to change your diet? One of the things that you can do is start intermittent fasting. We feel as though we have to have something to eat all the time. That's one thing you can do. The other thing is...
What is intermittent fasting?
Having a block of time that you only eat during the day, like 8 hours a day. You may start eating at noon to 8 and then stop.
Nothing else.
And nothing else.
Until the next day.
Right. And after you feel your body being empty, you have an awareness of the fact that you're okay feeling your body empty. Most people feel, if they feel any hint of hunger pains,
they're starving.
They're, or they're
running to get something to
eat. Right. And the other thing, the thing that you can do is drink water. Every time you feel like you want to eat something, get a glass of water. And some people don't like to drink water. You can put some lemon in it. Just squeeze some lemon in it. That will help. And the other question, as far as the dialysis centers.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
When I came back to Detroit 10 years ago, I'm driving around and here's a dialysis center, here's a dialysis center, here's a dialysis center. And what's going on, there's really an epidemic going on, and it's not talked about. The Center for Disease Control, I think the statistics, I'm trying to get it in my head right. One out of 3 African Americans will end up on dialysis.
One out of 3.
1 out of 3.
Wow. That's scary.
1 out of 5 Hispanics.
And
it's all due to our diets. It's the carbs and it's the sugar and lack of exercise. Those are the 3 things. And what's shocking to me is the fact that you are seeing mothers giving their babies sugar.
Candy at 6 months and a year old, and it's crazy because I've seen that personally where kids are ingesting. It's just giving them sugar at that age is, to me, I never remember having sugar that early.
No, and it's having an impact internally.
Yeah.
Just like I went in the other day to get some barbecue chips, but I couldn't find any because they were all extra hot, extra spicy. The spices, everything's got jalapeno, hot sauce, hot peppers on it now. What's that doing to kids?
Well, it's distorting our palate. They don't understand what real food tastes like. Mm-hmm. So when they get real food, it's like, oh, I don't like that. Yeah. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah. And they don't know.
Because it doesn't have all that extra flavoring and stuff, and
right,
spices and sugar.
And what we don't understand in America, I mean, some people don't understand, it's all about profit. Mm-hmm. All right? They don't really give a damn about what they're doing to you. It's about the money that you're putting in their pockets. You know, it's food science has come a long way. And they have these large kitchens, and they're in there formulating food, so you can become addicted to it. That's causing the problem with illness. And I could go on and on. So it's the manufacturing industry, it's the hospitals, it's the manufacturing industries, the hospital, the politicians. Mm-hmm. So they're all in this together.
And it's the companies that are selling this stuff
producing
too.
It.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so we could go on and on about this, and we will, because we're going to have you back.
Okay. On a regular basis.
On a regular basis, so we can kind of dive into all of these things and more. Yes. So we really appreciate you being here today and talking about some of the basic health issues that we're having around diabetes and dialysis centers. But can you just give us 3 quick things that we can do, that we can take away today? I know you talked about water. What's another?
Turn things around.
Yes, 2 things.
Okay. Eat salads. Eat salads. Okay. And when you're eating salad, make your own salad dressing.
Okay.
All right. The bottled salad dressings are nothing but a chemical factory of toxic stew. So
thanks a lot.
You can do that,
Ms. Ross.
Right.
Because I actually pour a lot of that Italian dressing on,
No.
So I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah, some good olive oil and some lemon juice,
Gotcha.
Or some lime juice,
Gotcha.
Or some fresh orange. Do your own salad dressing. Throw some basil or some parsley in there and some garlic. You can do it. And the other thing is try and get out and walk. Yeah, even if it's just around the block,
Fresh air.
Yeah, because when you're walking, you're moving, and that's causing your blood to move, and that's helping with your glucose. So just the walking can help, those 3 things.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gloria Ross.
You're very welcome.
From this segment, A Nibble on Health, that we're going to have on a regular basis here on Chew On.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for joining
Glad
us.
to be here.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Detroit style.
This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker.
All right.
And
I am so excited. One of my favorite people, Ernest Johnson, is with us today. Ernest is a longtime community activist and strategist. I first met Ernest during the Community Coalition days, and I was a very active member alongside Don Barton, right? The Don Barton.
Mr. B.
Yes, Mr. B, excuse me. So welcome, Ernest.
Right, congratulations. Nice.
Thank you so much.
we get some information out there.
Yes, yeah. So we were going to start our conversation today about why is it that we don't have a bunch of folks in these races for city council. I mean, it's really strange to me that in this big city that every seat doesn't have a bunch of challengers. And I think it's important for us to challenge the status quo, because I'm all about challenging the status quo. That's what I ran on. So what do you think is the issue with what's happening with people running and more young people being involved? What's going on with that?
I think we got a problem with people being engaged, because really, if we look at the last presidential election, Detroit only had 48% turnout, and we had a black woman running historically really for president, and we only had a 48% turnout. And what they're saying now is that for this mayor's race, we may get 17 to 20% turnout.
Well, why aren't more people involved? What is it?
Why would we stop voting?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't no accident. It's the vote is being suppressed, and people really got this "my vote don't count" mentality, and I think also is a breakdown in the educational system. Because when we was going to school, we was taught by government, civil.
Civics
class, and government class.
They do that no more, do they?
No. I think we're trying to get back to it. That's my understanding, but not so much. And I think that was one of the reasons that when I became a commissioner, I looked at starting the Wayne County Commission Youth Council, because I believe that it's important that we teach the next generation of leaders how to lead, because it just doesn't happen. And I think a lot of people are really just frustrated with politics these days, and this is not an easy position, or it's not easy to put yourself out there on the line for people to criticize and to break you, really,
right. And seeing some of these politicians going to jail for stupid stuff.
Exactly.
And you be like, that's a turnoff, for young people. And like, we ain't teaching government civics, so we ain't encouraging them, we ain't teaching them how this politics work, how the government works. And people don't really understand that politics determines everything. The air you breathe, because it controls the pollution, the car pollutions and all this, emissions. So all of that is determined by who you vote for and how their positions on that is. And so no matter what you do, it's some politics behind it. But I don't think people understand that politics is in everything.
What I'm hearing a lot of younger people say, that they feel like it's rigged, that the people who are going to get in are going to get in anyway. There's certain people that are going to get in, and that it's already been predetermined already.
Right.
I hear that a lot.
That's
and they just give up. Right. They just let it happen.
That's what they want us to think. That's what they want us, to be programmed, to be,
And that's a way to suppress, too.
Right.
To make you think that way.
Give up. Right. And so they doing everything. They don't want you to mail by ballots. They don't want you to mail your ballots in. At least this president that's in it now. It's just straight out racism now. There's no chaser. He brought the president of South Africa in.
Yes.
And then, he disrespected
to the Oval Office. And you know what? He's done that twice now. with the president of Ukraine and now the president of South Africa to invite them to the White House and then insult them.
Well, I was feeling that he would be prepared after he seen how he got the. But anybody else that go to the White House got to expect that he would bring out turn out the lights and bring out a big screen and then show propaganda from South Africa from a leftist who was saying kill the Boers and say this is what y'all do. And the president of South Africa like,
what?
You right. Like, you turn out the lights on me, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? I think that has an influence on even local. When they see things nationally that looks unfair, and when they compare it to what's happening here, they feel the same way. Like this is not right. This is unfair.
The whole world.
And then of course the money thing. How much does it cost to run?
That's right. I mean,
a campaign, you know?
Well, it costs some money. I don't know why people get in races with no money.
Anyway.
Right. If, you know, you just can't win because you good, you know, to yourself.
Although, for me, I think, you know, candidates need to be challenged. So if nobody gets in, and I think we had that conversation in cases where candidates get put out the race for their foulings and there's no one else in it, right? Or if there was someone else in the race, then that person could have potentially won, right? So yes, I think you probably need to think about how you can win a race, and you know that it's going to cost money. But I think that's where the grassroots candidate can win, or at least have a good run if they use strategy.
Right.
So, but yes, definitely you need money. But I think
look like the people just didn't want to get out there and this winter and get no signatures. You know, them 500 signatures to get on the ballot.
Right. Speaking of, who is in the race for the city council? Let's talk about city council.
For the city council.
How many races do we have?
Really, you're going to only have about 3 races, and it's 7. Well, citywide to be 4, but it's 7 districts, right? So if you go to say District 3, Scott Benson, right?
Right.
Is one person challenging him. So that means it won't be no race.
It won't be a primary. Okay, no primary.
Because the top 2 go to
the general.
So it got at least be 3 in the race for it to be a race. In Johnson, in her District 4, we got one person.
Oh, Letitia.
Right. So it won't be no primary.
Okay. For her either. Okay.
Right. And then Tyrone Carter with Garcia over there in Southwest Detroit. So it won't be no primary there. So
and she almost got put off the ballot, right?
Right.
So he would have just.
It's what you were just saying.
Yes.
Would have been a shoo-in.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a shoo-in. And that's the same thing with city clerk.
Oh, right, because she's being challenged. That's right.
But the person that was challenging her ballots weren't good, I understand. So she don't.
What? I did not know that. Wow.
Right.
So she challenged the clerk too, right?
Oh, this is the one that got kicked out. Oh, yeah, no, she.
So what happened with the challenge with the clerk? Did that disappear because she was kicked off the ballot?
She complained about the makeup of the board that you go challenging from.
Right, the board of canvassers?
Is Conrad Mallett, I think Conrad Mallett, Janice Winfrey, and Mary Sheffield. Right. She challenged that 2 people that's in the race, I'm in the race, shouldn't be judging if I should be in the race.
Okay.
And that's I mean, a valid point.
Conrad Mallett said he didn't see that. You know?
Of course they did. I mean, but okay. It's like I'm being judged by the people that I'm running against.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
So are there any real? Is there any real opposition
It's
to any of the sitting?
Well, you got District 2, Callaway. She's got a race. So this is her first time. And so a rematch between her and Roger, what is it, Roy? Roy
McAllister.
Yeah, McAllister.
Now,
And Helena Scott. That's right.
state rep
That's right.
of that district.
Right.
So her name is out there because she's been a state rep. And Roy, he's
been a councilman before, so this is a real race.
In that same area,
So
right?
we got one
in the same
real
district,
race.
same district.
Right.
And one person else was in there named McConnell or something, but he got kicked off for his ballots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his signatures,
Wow.
But there's one more race. Oh, dude, it is a race. It is a race. It's two more races. It's race in District 5. Where you got 9 people.
Oh, that's right.
Mm.
You know my old staff member, Michael Richard.
Yeah.
He is in that race.
Yeah, he's in that race.
He's one of the
That's
5.
right.
He wanted the 9.
9. Oh.
Yes, and I actually think he has a good chance.
He's got a good chance
because his name is out there, and the current
Willie Burton.
That's
Police commissioner, so he gave up his seat. So, and they didn't have to get nobody for some of them police commissioner seats. Nobody.
So what? Is it a write-in? I guess.
Yeah.
Candidacy of
Yeah,
most of the police commissioners.
Yeah, you can do that.
See,
It's only be 3 open seats, and then I think next year or some other time 2 more seats, and then the mayor put 4 of them seats on. But a couple of them districts. Nobody even put in no petition. Somebody picked up some, but nobody turned them in. So it ain't even no races. Then there's one more race.
See, Mike, you could have been a police commissioner.
Yeah.
I should have contacted Mr. Johnson.
He could have walked right in.
He would have let me know.
Yeah.
Right in.
You keep your pulse on all this stuff.
But you still could.
Yeah.
You do a write-in.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You can do it right
Maybe
in.
I'll have to do that.
That's right.
You have to have the postcode. Have somebody passing out your
That's
stuff.
all.
Right
That's
you in,
it.
right.
That's it.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
But you gotta go to the clerk and let them know you want to be a write-in.
Right.
You got time to
Officially,
do it. Right.
yeah.
To make you official write-in.
So as part of the community coalition and a lot of the work you've done in the community, have you encouraged people to run before, in the past? Have you played the instrument? How much of a role have you played in that in the past?
That's like the trick question.
Behind the
right?
scenes.
Like what?
Behind the scenes.
I think so.
So that's all he does is get people to run and support candidates. And
Because we're talking about trying to encourage people to,
Right. Well, see, right now in this day and age, what surprises me is people run for stuff they can't win instead of running for what they can win.
Right.
that is so frustrating.
That's a whole nother. That's for another program.
I know. It's almost like we trying to get people to vote, and then you run over something you can't get enough votes for.
Right.
Run for what you can win.
Right. There are a few races like that right now. People they're in the wrong race.
Exactly.
I think people that ran before that didn't run. That's always my question. Is like, you spent all of that money and all of those resources running for an office, and you almost won, or you did pretty well. Why not turn around and run again, right? Because your name is out there.
Instead of jumping in another race.
Or not running at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt about Hopper. Like, what did happen?
Right.
Yes, whatever happened to him?
That's what I was talking. That was you saying.
Right. What's happening, y'all?
Keep going. It's like,
did he go back to acting? I mean, I'm just
maybe that was when he was going around with that chair. Maybe that was some acting. And sit down in it.
I only ask because
I'm just playing.
I have not heard or seen of him, and we've got so many races this year.
I know. Don't pop up and run again. That's what I don't like, is people run and lose and then pop up and want to run again and don't do nothing in between running.
You never hear or see from them
until they running.
Right.
You have to be consistent, and from coming from somebody that ran like 10 times, not 10, but it feels like 10 times.
Right.
But you really do have to stay in it to win it.
You never gave up.
Yeah,
right, you can't give up.
You can't give up. That's the only way you win.
You can't give up. Right. You sit down and you lose ground when you sit down.
That's right. That is
I like that.
I do too. That's exactly right.
You got people running for. We got a mayor's race right now, and I think it's confusing to have somebody running for next year's Congress race while we in the midst of this mayor's race. Like, if you really with us, then who do you think should be the mayor? Then why don't you work with us on getting that person elected, and then that person can help you win Congress instead of you passing out stuff and all his mayor stuff, but you can't endorse nobody because you running for your seat. I mean, that's like a little, moonwalking, you running backwards, like one of these people that's running for mayor, you got 9 people and they spend $1 million on their name come November and they want to be Congress. We might want to do them while you running around, campaigning for next year. This person in this race might be better for that position next year than you that ain't endorsing nobody and then just running around here and ain't did nothing since the last campaign.
Right.
And pop up running again. I mean, I'm just saying that.
Just saying, right.
Without naming names.
Right. I'm like, I wonder who that is. That is so true. I think, it's so much going on right now, and the mayor, I will say, did a great job getting us on track. Getting the city where we should have been a long time ago, and to me, it's just interesting why we're really coming into ourselves. But we don't really have the power that we used to have. You know what I'm saying? It's
because we don't have the unity. We don't have no Coleman Young to tell people to step out the race. If we had somebody like that, we would have black Congress people, because we have too many people running at the same time for the same result. Right. And we ain't unified. Everybody can't be the person, But we need somebody like, put the hammer down and say, it ain't your time yet. And if it costs you to keep on running, we ain't going to support you.
Right, right.
And people that got to happen.
And I think that is so right. Sometimes I forget that I am in a leadership position, and I'm so focused on one thing. For me, I think it's important to try to move the needle in what you think you can move the needle on. And I think that's an area that I think I'm going to dive in more in the future, as to helping us to strategize around candidates that should run and when you should run, kind of helping us come together and figuring that out, because right now we don't have that
about
person.
A
strategy. It has to be.
There's no strategy right now.
And that's part of what the Youth Council is about. It's about building those next generation of leaders, so that when it's their turn, we know, okay, this young person has worked here, they've done this, they've done that, they're the best candidate, and let's get around that
because they have a track
person
record.
And they have a track record. And I think it's so important right now, especially for the Black community, for us to build up our leadership, because we're losing. We're falling. We're falling behind, and other communities from outside of Detroit are coming in, and other people, other types of people, and I think Black people are falling to the wayside. So, and I'm not saying that I'm not encouraging other people and different cultures to
live and work in the city.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
we need some ownership.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have no ownership, and you know, that's my thing with whoever be, you know, who I'm talking to be the next mayor. You know, we need to own some markets. You know, we need to own some
and
gas
Ernest,
stations.
for the next mayor too, I just hope that they continue the economic revival that we have going on now. It's nice to see the big medical center going up at Henry Ford and U of M and the Pistons. It's nice to see Corktown and downtown and all that. That's nice. But we do need to put some more money and effort into places like Livernois, you know, the Avenue of Fashion, parking structures, maybe a shuttle going back and forth. You know, let's pour some money to help the storefronts, the businesses to look better and more professional.
Right.
You know,
right.
But I just want the next mayor to continue that economic excitement that we have. Don't stop it. You know, keep it going.
We're gonna go, but
yeah.
You know, a lot of candidates think that downtown is on automatic pilot now, and that the emphasis will be on the neighborhoods and, you know, opening up some markets where it's food deserts on Linwood. And that's
yes, we need to do that too. Yeah.
Mac, and have some ownership and.
Ownership is key.
Right.
It's everything.
Because we ain't got no ownership.
Right.
You know, we don't. It's nothing for our kids to look up to at any store, gas station, where you go where we are owners, and so it ain't by no accident that the people that own all these stores and gas stations is feeding us this chicken and pizza, and then they live in beautiful homes and stuff, and leaving us like this, and they ain't giving back.
Yeah.
They don't even hire us to train us to run the register and do the money orders and nothing like that. They'll put you in a lottery machine, you know.
Right. So now that is a whole nother story that I would love to dive into.
Yeah.
Because I have some issues.
You've spoken out about things
know
like that before.
I have.
And they use our kids on them young girls. They be having them on the machines, you know.
Yeah. One of them that that works in the party store.
Yeah, well, it was so nice to have you. I really appreciate you coming by, and
you know your stuff, man.
Yes.
We got such a little bit, but I think we covered all the races.
Yeah.
I think so.
But you're going to be back, so we'll do this again, and I just want to thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Chew on this.
Right,
So,
right. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
I like your hookup and
Thank you. Thank you for joining us for our first episode of Chew on This. I am so very excited about all of the next guests that we're going to have. It is going to be educational, and it's going to fill your heart and soul. So look for us every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and I hope you will join us for our launch party coming very soon. So stay tuned. Thank you.